I reminisce about the love we had. I reminisce about the love we had. Tender moments seem to go so fast. Reminisce, reminisce. I reminisce about the love we had. I reminisce about the love we had. Love so strong it will never pass.
Love Park Connection.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you guys doing?
So, how you doing today, baby?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So, yeah, it's almost the end of the week. No, it's Monday.
It's the beginning of the week.
It's the beginning of the week. Okay.
Yeah, I've been on vacation, so every day seemed like Saturday.
I know.
Until I have to go back to the plantation tomorrow.
Yeah, well, see, that's why I keep telling you need to retire, but that's a whole nother topic.
It's a whole nother topic.
So today we are going to be talking about the changes women's bodies go through
Mm-hmm.
and the impact it has on a relationship. When I mean change, I mean when they have a baby and so forth.
Oh,
And yes, I know. And the
okay.
impact it has on the relationship. So, but first, let us introduce ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Angela Parker,
And I'm Pierre Parker.
and we are a husband and wife marriage and relationship coaching team. We've been married 27 years,
Yep.
together for over 30 years, and it's our goal to help couples communicate better, love more, and build healthy, long-term relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Long-term relationships.
Yes. So, what do you think about the topic we're going to talk about today?
I think it's an interesting topic.
It is. Actually, a friend of ours, lady I'm working with who's helping me write my book, came up with this. And I was like, that's something I've never even thought of, even though I've had a child and so forth. You know, we've had a child. That's not something I really even thought about. But I guess it can impact, you know, a relationship, a woman's self-esteem, all those things. So
Mhm.
yeah, let's talk about this a little bit because I
So,
want to hear from a man's perspective on how you guys, you know, how men think about what a woman goes through and once her body starts to change and the dynamics of the relationship start to change because now you got a third person that you got to take care of, you
yeah.
know, who's totally dependent primarily on the mother,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how that impacts the relationship between, the two folks, the husband and wife or your partner or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as we know, a woman's body goes through a whole lot of changes.
Oh,
And
massive.
right. And not just the body changes, but the hormonal changes too.
Yes.
So, and the breast size and all that.
Yes. I
That's
mean,
the best part for
we
y'all.
like it until that fairy comes along and takes them away.
It takes it away, huh?
Yeah. Like, wait a minute.
Mm.
Wait. Now you didn't took our toys away.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. So, and then of course there's the recovery of it, and then and the sex changes after the baby. You know,
Yes.
it does change even after that 6-month period, a 6-week period where they're like, we don't have sex or anything like that.
Yeah.
After that, I'm sure it can maybe change for the better, but it can primarily change for the worse because a woman's tired.
I was gonna say, I think a
Yeah.
lot of times it changes for the worse.
Yeah. And how
So,
does that, I mean, in your opinion, how does that impact how the men feel? I mean, I know they're for the most part, you guys are understanding and sympathetic, but
yeah. Men, we try to be as sympathetic as we can be,
right.
but and we do understand that, women, when you guys have babies and your body goes through, like I said, it goes through a massive change.
Right.
And the stuff that you go through, just being a man who was in the delivery room, when I was younger, my first daughter was born, that actually changed my views on women, period. I was young. I was in my 20s. And, in your 20s, you're thinking, oh, women are cool, they cool, but
They
whatever, they
aight.
they just, they fine, they do things like that. But then when you actually go and you in the delivery room
Mhm.
and you see all the stuff that goes on with a woman when she is having a baby, that changed my whole view on women.
Right.
And
Like
the
how?
per-
Give me an example. How did it change your view?
it changed my view as far as, first of all, it changed my view on the pain tolerance of a woman.
Mm.
I'm telling you, if it was up to men,
I know. Men
it'd be
always say
one dude on this planet. This
one
planet would
baby,
be
huh?
very empty. Very empty. Just to see, look, man, I'm telling you, women, y'all, men can try to act like we can take all this pain as much as we want. We punks when it comes to what y'all go through in the delivery room.
Yeah.
It is just unreal.
Yes.
Unreal. And the fact that God or whoever you want to believe to be the higher purpose, the higher person, the fact that person makes you guys forget that pain and all
Right,
that
to
stuff,
have more children.
to have more children,
To have
I'm
another
like,
one.
oh no. That's just amazing to me. It's
Exactly.
amazing to me that women would want to have more than one kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And then after that, just to see what you guys have to go through and then see how you guys are so tired and
Hmm.
dealing with that stuff,
And then the hormones they start fluctuating
yeah,
back.
hormones are all over the place.
All
y'all.
over the
I
place.
mean, 1 minute you yelling, and then the next minute you're crying, and the next minute you're happy, and
It's
you're hungry, and then you're crying again, and
Did you
see,
say hungry?
yeah, you're hungry. But I mean,
Oh,
but the crazy part about that is, and I know this is about women. This is that other side. That's what this conversation is about. But nobody actually talks about the man side of it.
right. Exactly.
How we feel and how we are in trying to deal with you guys when you
Right.
guys are going through it. Yes, we're trying our hardest, but we're also the punching bag. We're everything. We're taking all that stuff. We're
Right.
taking it all. And
Right.
we trying to be as, do the best that we can, but it's hard for us to understand because you guys don't understand at the same
Right.
time.
Right. Yeah. That's
Especially
true.
if it's your first child,
Hmm.
you guys can't, you don't know what
What to expect
what
and
to
what's going
expect.
on. Right. Right.
So the whole thing is just a learning experience, and you really have to be on the same page as much as possible
Exactly.
to when you have a child.
Yeah.
And then now if we get into the whole thing about the baby bod and all that stuff that we were
Yeah.
talking about.
The mommy makeover.
The mommy makeover and stuff like that.
Yeah, how important that is. Because that is important because you think about it, once when you have your first child, you normally bounce back for the most part. I know I did, and most of the women I know bounced back.
Yeah.
But then you start having your second and third child, then it takes a toll on your body. And then, you start, as a woman, you don't feel as desirable, as sexy and all that. So you want to do something for yourself. And sometimes I know, excuse me, sometimes they'll say, oh, just go to the gym, just eat better. And that's all well and fine. But if your breasts are all stretched out of shape and that, your body just doesn't bounce back, especially the older you get and the more children you have, your body's not going to bounce back the same way.
No.
So, I mean, that's another thing when the mommy makeovers are being done. I mean, that's a question. As women, are we doing it really just for ourselves, or are we doing it for, our spouse or our partner? Who are we doing that for? And that's really something that's important to talk about because hopefully if you do it for yourself.
Exactly.
And then your man.
And we reap the benefits of it.
Reap the benefits. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, what do you think about women who decide, I want to get a mommy makeover?
I have no problem with it. I'm like, if that's what's going to make you happy, go on and get it. Because in making you happy, it's going to make me happy.
Right.
I mean, because then you're not gonna be having attitudes and all that stuff.
Oh,
And no, but it will make it'll make me happy because, like I
right,
said, I reap the benefits from it. I get to
right,
have my wife looking beautiful and
right.
feeling beautiful and all of these things like that. So I reap the benefits of it. So
I was reading something and just trying to get an idea of how, basically on the man side, what they think about, the mommy makeovers and women having plastic surgery specifically for, after having a child.
mhm,
And it said there was a survey asked of men how they would react if their female partner told them they wanted a mommy makeover.
mhm,
81% was very supportive.
mhm,
13%, were neutral,
mhm.
and then 6.3% said they would be unsupportive, which I'm sure maybe would. I don't know if they didn't give the reason why they would be unsupportive, but it could be
Well,
the money. It could be
look,
what?
I'm blunt about things.
Mm-mm.
That 6% right there, they stupid.
Why are they stupid? What if it's a financial thing?
I mean, if it's a financial thing, I can understand that. But
Hmm.
look, come on, man, try.
Yeah. At least give her a little
Give her
something.
something, man.
Right. Right.
Even
Just
even if it's just taking her to get a pedicure,
pedicure. That
manicure,
doesn't. That okay.
a mani pedi.
That doesn't. No.
No, I'm saying even if it has to be that,
Yeah.
something small, at least try to do something to make your woman feel good. Let her
Yeah.
try to do something to make her feel good about
Yeah.
herself.
Or even get her. I mean, a personal trainer. Sometimes even
Yeah.
even that's a start. Get her a personal trainer or go walk with her. That's another
That's the thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
that's
go
another
walk
thing
with
we
her,
talked
try it.
about.
But then see, you also have the other side of it
Hmm.
where the woman has to want to do these
You're
things,
right. You're right.
and she has to accept the help,
Right.
not to say, well, I want to do this, but then you don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then that's another side that we end up looking at, because another thing what we have to look at is what you guys have to understand is with a man, when we get together and we've gotten together, we've gotten together.
With
We're
your
used to
partner. You're
seeing you,
talking about with your
with your partner.
Okay. Hmm.
We're used to seeing you as how we met you and love you. We're used to that.
Mm-hmm.
But now, yes, you've gone through this whole change, and your body has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your face changed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
all of these different things. There's changes,
Mm-hmm.
but we still would like to, and so as much as possible, still have the woman that we married.
Right.
So and then we don't want to just come out and be like, why don't you go to the gym? Why don't you go lose some weight? Because then we say something like that is bad. We don't want to say nothing like that.
Well, but that's where you're right. The woman needs to want to make that change
Mhm.
and realize, hey, I need to do something
Yeah.
because it's getting out of control. I'm not feeling good about myself. I don't feel sexy.
Mhm.
But also, and I know I can, for example, for us, when I say, oh, I need to lose, I said this the other day, I need to lose about 10 pounds.
Mhm.
Not that, I haven't had a child recently.
Mhm.
It's been 30, well, no,
Good
20,
living.
yeah, good living. It's
Good
been good
living.
living, good living. But the example is that you said to me, okay, what do you want to do? How do you want to make the changes? We need to do more walking. We need to.
Mhm.
So you encourage me not by saying, yeah, go ahead and go to the gym, but you
Mhm.
encourage me by saying, okay, let's go for more walks.
Mhm.
Because right now I can't get into the gym, but
Mhm.
let's go for more walks. She said, yoga, let's do yoga. So at least you are willing to work with me and encourage me in that way.
Mhm.
And even with the eating, like, okay, well, we'll stop doing this, or that. So you do it along with me, and that makes it easier. So if women have that kind of encouragement from their partner,
Yeah.
that it might be easier than a dude just saying, yeah, go, just go for a walk.
Yeah.
Because she needs that encouragement,
Yeah.
especially after having a child. And, like you said, the hormones are all over the place and she's not feeling great about herself. She needs her mate to
Hmm.
say, hey, come on, let's go for a walk, babe.
Yeah.
Let's go grab a salad, or let's go whatever, whatever the
Hmm.
case is. But
And you have to be accepting of it,
yeah, you do. No, you
because
do, definitely.
that's his way of probably saying that he wants to help. He wants to
Right,
get you motivated into doing this.
right.
So, but a lot of times we'll have, a lot of times some women take that the wrong way, and they're, you trying to say I'm fat, and
Yeah.
then
No, I know.
you know what I mean, and then you got a big old problem with that.
No,
So,
you're right. You're right.
so
We have to, as women, we have to be aware of it's not necessarily that he's criticizing.
no,
He's trying to help. He's trying to,
exactly,
so yeah, no, you're right about
exactly.
that. You're right.
So, and there's a flip side of that whole thing. Even
Mm-hmm.
though we're talking about the baby bodies and the moms and the women, but there's a flip side. There's a man side of it too.
Yeah, because
You
there
know,
are some men that go
there's some
through.
men that just go, that sit there and they get fat as hell.
Yeah,
And
that's
look,
called sympathetic pregnancies.
yeah, yes, you call it what you want to call it.
No, but
look.
I read something that says men who experience sympathetic pregnancies also have measurably high levels of prolactin.
Okay,
It's the hormone that allows women to produce milk and experience a temporary drop in testosterone just after the birth.
okay.
So, I mean, there is that sympathetic pregnancy. Well,
That's-
just because you didn't have it.
But-
Well,
no,
you were,
but-
I think that might be for, us particularly maybe older men. You were in we were in our 20s.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I know a man could get. Men could be lazy as hell.
Well,
And
yes,
lazy,
but they,
want to sit up, drink a bunch of beer, sit on the couch,
well,
watch
we're
the
not
game,
talking
and all
about
that
that.
stuff.
We're
So
talking about
that's what I'm
during
saying.
the pregnancy,
Oh,
during the woman's pregnancy,
Look,
not.
I went too far. With
You
it.
went
Look.
to. We are talking about the woman's pregnancy and how it impacts a man too, because it does.
Yeah, it does.
It can
It actually
impact the
does.
man.
I mean,
Yeah,
even like down to the morning sicknesses.
yeah.
They used to laugh and say that ain't true, but no, I didn't get it. But I did have some buddies that when his wife was getting sick, having the morning sicknesses,
Yeah.
they
She
was sick too.
He was sick too. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it can happen. Of course, we all know it's psychological, but it doesn't matter. It still can happen.
Exactly.
So, and then, if the man is putting on that weight, he too they have to work as a
They gotta
team
work as a
to,
team.
get the weight off. And, because I tell you, it's each year that you don't get that weight off, and then you have
Ooh.
another baby, the harder it is to get it off. And then
Yeah.
as you get older,
And
it's
that's all I'm saying. Then you factor age into that too.
right.
Ooh, it gets real hard.
Exactly. So, improved body image. So, how do you think, in your opinion, how do you
Mhm.
think that the whether it's actually doing surgery or just working out, how do you think that influences the woman's overall image of herself?
Improving the body image.
Well,
I
yeah,
think.
woman goes out and then she, either she has the actual mommy makeover through surgery or
Mhm.
she does it through working out and eating.
Mhm.
How do you think that affects her overall?
Well, I think it affects her in a more positive way. It should.
Yeah.
It should. If she's getting the results that she's getting now.
Yeah.
If she's doing all of this stuff and she's still not happy, then I think there's more of a psychological problem than
Yeah. Yeah.
than
Yeah. Like
that.
what is that when women have postpartum,
Yeah.
which I mean I don't know much about, thankfully, but yeah, that's a serious thing too, postpartum, and that can have an impact on her how she feels about herself,
Exactly.
and that's a whole nother area that I have have no idea how
Yeah.
that how that impacts a woman. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's something that's pretty serious too, and has a serious impact emotionally and physically on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when a woman's body transforms during pregnancy,
Mhm.
it feels like an entirely new person, like you said. Some women, their face changes. You had a couple of friends where their nose spread, and they just their facial features. I mean, you still knew who they were, but you could tell that there was a change, and because while they were pregnant, and for some women, they don't recognize themselves, and I'm sure that can also cause, an emotional and self-esteem issue, because it's like, who is this person? Just 9 months ago I was this, had this, rock hard or slender, or I just looked totally, my face was clear. And some women, they also go through, not just the body changes, but your skin changes, and because it's a lot that goes on in a woman's body when she's having a child. So you just don't know what your body's going to do. And it could change from baby to baby. So that's why I think it's important that women and their partners, if they want that mommy makeover, figure out how to make it work. Because as a man, of course you don't have to go through you go through hormonal changes as men, but you don't have to go through the changing of your actual body. That and men tend to lose weight much faster and much easier than women for the most part. They do. They do. Because of the testosterone. So you do have that. You do have the ability to lose weight and tone up faster than women, and especially after you've had a baby. So I think it's important for men to go ahead and say, okay, we're going to figure this out, whether it's just a breast augmentation or, like you said, lipo or whatever. Right.
I don't see a problem at it. I don't see a problem with it at all.
Right.
If that's going to make her feel much better. Now, if it gets into just where you see she's starting to have a problem with extra plastic surgery and all of this stuff, then that's another, once again, that's another issue.
That is another. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it also can improve the sex drive.
Yeah.
Can
self-esteem.
Help. Self-esteem, exactly. But so
ain't nothing wrong with that part of it.
No, of course not.
Improve that drive. Improve the drive.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, babe.
Yes.
What would you tell your male friends, your male cohorts about if his wife
wanted a baby makeover?
Yeah, not a baby makeover, mommy makeover.
Mommy makeover.
What would you?
I'll tell her, man, let her do it, man. It's a win-win situation all the way around. She feels better, you feel better,
right?
The relationship gets better.
And he has to be, and that's another thing. After the surgery, if she decides and you guys agree, then you have to be there for her, because surgery, you gotta heal. You gotta heal. So
you gotta become daddy doctor or daddy nurse or whatever. Yeah, you gotta be. You gotta be there.
You gotta be there. Yeah.
Look, you had a couple your shoulder injury and stuff, and there was plenty of times I had to be Mr. Nurse. So I had no problem with it.
Exactly.
So we fellas, we had to set that pride aside, because she would do it for you.
Definitely.
And she probably has done it for you.
Exactly.
So
what about daddy makeovers? I saw some stuff on that, on daddy makeovers. Not necessarily because their wife had a baby, but they, daddy makeovers.
Because they got fat as hell and it was lazy.
No, that's not always the case. That's not always the case.
I'm blunt. I don't care.
That's not always the case, though. Maybe he's just, he's just getting older and it's harder to lose weight. You know that.
Yeah, I know that. I'm older and it is harder to lose weight, but I'm trying. I try to stay in the gym.
I know, but what about daddy makeovers?
Daddy makeovers are great too. Wouldn't you like to see your man and that beer belly is gone, and it's the same.
If that would make you happy, then
yeah. But no woman. If you met this man and he was a jock in high school or whatever in college, and he kept himself together, and now you see him and he a big sloppy bum, you can't still sit there and be like, I love him the same way. No, no.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't you think it's, I mean, I think it's just as there are mommy makeovers, there should be daddy makeovers.
Oh,
and
I
more,
agree.
And more men should be willing to,
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you having problems and you in the gym every day and you working and you still having those little problem areas and you think you need to get lipo in your belly or whatever, get it.
Yeah.
If it's gonna make it better, get it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't go into getting calf implants and chest
Okay.
implants.
That's another
Don't get into that.
show.
But I'm just saying. But I mean, if stuff like that, if it's lipo in the stomach, man, and you just you really been doing everything you can to get rid of that gut or whatever, that's the hardest thing to get rid of.
Yeah.
And you feel you want to get that lipo to get rid of it, get it, man.
Exactly.
And wherever else, little parts in your face, if you want to get some whatever fat pull out your face or whatever, get it if it's gonna make you happy and make her happy.
Yeah.
So, but most of all, make you happy, man.
Exactly. So we talked about the mommy makeovers, but I want to kind of talk about and touch upon after a woman has her baby and her sex drive, not even necessarily because she's feeling her self-esteem is low, not even necessarily talking about that, but talking about the whole, she's tired, she just had a baby, and maybe her sex drive has dropped, because you got to think about it. She's now taking care of another human being, sleep deprivation, your priorities shift, whereas your husband's no longer your first priority. You have this child. And of course, like we talked about, the emotional changes in postpartum. How would you help? Because you've gone through it. How would you help another brother and say, look, this is their first child. My wife, she doesn't even feel like being around me. All she wants to do is sleep and only has time to take care of the baby. How would you help him get through that? Because that's a tough time for a man too.
It's a very tough time for a man, and which is another thing that's not talked about.
Right.
Extremely tough time for a man. And that's where a lot of times you end up having infidelity. You have that stuff because the man, that's one thing what women don't understand. When you guys shut off and you guys be like, yeah, I'm not in that sex. I don't want no more sex and all of this stuff. I'm too tired, or I just don't feel it. I'm not feeling sexy, so I don't want to have no more sex. When you shut it down, he's not shut down.
Right.
His hormones is still going.
Right.
His hormones are still going from the day that you got married and all of this stuff. And it's kind of selfish for a woman to shut it down and then expect him to shut it down.
Okay.
And that's when you have a high probability of infidelity.
Gotcha.
And women don't want to understand that. Women just want to be like, oh, he cheated and that was wrong. He shouldn't have cheated. Well, you didn't think about when you shut this off.
Right.
That this man is still going. He still has his needs. So this is getting into a whole nother. Is this another podcast? We might have to do another.
We'll have to do another.
We might have to do another one on this one.
But I'm just saying. I mean, and you're right, and that's another. Something we can dive into a little deeper at another time. But so, in that instance, what would you tell a young brother how to approach it with his wife or his partner?
I would tell him to try to sit down and have as many talks and discussions and let her know your side of how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And hopefully she can understand some of that.
Right.
But also help out as much as possible with the child to where so she isn't as tired.
Right.
So, help out. You might have to pick up the slack even more. Help out with the child, help out with cooking, help out with dishes, cleaning, whatever you can to let her get rest. And, hopefully that will kick her into, not being so tired as much. And maybe, her doing that stuff, some women be like, ooh, I just love seeing my man wash the dishes. Ooh, that make the juices flow. Come on, boy. you know, you might get some of that.
Right.
But bottom line, try to help out as much as possible and take
Right.
some of that slack. I mean, take some of that that responsibility off of her so that she
Right.
doesn't feel so overwhelmed.
Right.
Yeah, and I know, bruh, my fellas, we come in from work and we tired and things like that, but
But she's tired too, especially.
she's tired, and remember, she just went through hell having that child.
Right.
So
And not just that, sometimes you have sometimes after 6 months, if she's not a stay-at-home mom, she's back at work. And this
Yeah.
child is only 6 months,
yeah.
and so that's still a very small child who's depending on her.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, regarding the sex part of it,
Mm-hmm.
if she's already not feeling sexy,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not at least trying to compliment her. I'm not saying that you have to say, "Oh, your body looks the same as it did before the baby." No, but still reminding her how much you love her
Mm-hmm.
and how you still find her attractive.
Yeah.
Because
Positive reinforcement.
because attraction is not being attracted to someone is not just being attracted to them physically. It's also their personality and what you found attractive about that person is not just physical.
Mm-hmm.
That's a start, but that's not the only thing you find attractive about your partner.
No.
So you have to remember to reinforce that positive reinforcement
Mm-hmm.
to help her feel better about herself until she can get herself back to the way she feels, sexually attractive.
Exactly.
But yeah, you got to reinforce that positive reinforcement.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's good advice, babe, to tell these young brothers that you got to talk. You got to talk. Again, it goes
Yep.
back to communication.
Communication. That's the main thing we always say on these shows.
Exactly, because that is the foundation of it. So
Yeah.
we got to remember to, and that goes for you too, ladies. If if your man's putting on a little weight, he put on a little, baby weight
Yeah.
along with you, then you both need to, work it out together because there's nothing wrong with that.
And also, ladies, look, let him know if he comes out and he asks you, what the problem, is there a problem, or if he asks, what can I do or what's going on and all, don't say, oh, nothing. Don't do anything like that. If there is something going on or something wrong, then he's trying to find out. That's why he's asking. He's trying to find out so that he can try to help. Communicate. Let him know.
Mhm.
Don't just bottle it in
Right.
and not say anything.
Exactly.
Say something so that he can try to see what he can do to help you or to change things and stuff like that.
Right.
So you
Right.
have to communicate.
Yeah. If you're overwhelmed, then let him know.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, if you hear her saying she's overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
don't just brush it aside.
Yeah.
Take it seriously
Take it
because she's
serious.
trying to communicate with you. So definitely. So any other words of wisdom about this topic? Because it's a huge topic, and
Yeah.
it's nobody really talks about it.
No.
I haven't heard too many people talking about them. We talk about mommy makeovers, but
Mhm.
what are the impacts of it
Yeah.
in the relationship, and daddy makeovers too, and
Daddy
just having a
makeovers.
baby in general.
Yeah. Having baby is that's a rough thing.
And it
It's a good
changes.
thing.
Yeah, and it
But
changes the dynamic of the relationship, and you guys have to know how to work through those changes.
mm-hmm.
Especially if this is your first child. Even the second, I mean, it gets. I think it gets. Even though you're more when you have your second child, you're more experienced
Yeah.
in how to deal with your children, but it does add another layer of it adds another dynamic to the relationship.
Exactly.
There's less time for each other, so you've got to make sure you find that time
Yeah.
to be with each other. And most of all, if your woman needs that mommy makeover and you guys can make it happen, then whether it's just like I said, it could be a personal trainer, because
Mhm.
sometimes that can just do wonders for her self-esteem as well.
Yeah.
Figure out how to make it happen, because it really will have a valuable impact on your relationship.
I would say the first thing, fellas, before even the personal trainer thing, just start walking with her.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Start walking with
Start
her.
walking.
Pack
Because
up the
at the
baby
time
and
when you guys are walking,
mm-hmm.
she's talking.
Yes, that's true. That's when we get some of our
That's
best talks in.
exactly.
That and 3 in the
She's
morning.
talking. And yes. Oh, 3 in the morning. Lord, help me. Yes. But yes. Yeah, that's when a lot of good conversations can come out of just having a nice walk. And that's the way you can get it started. And
Yeah.
you guys are walking, you guys, after a while you can start picking up the pace on the walk. You
Right.
guys could, had a baby in a stroller, and the faster you walk with the baby in the stroller, the baby is loving it even more because they like going faster in the stroller.
Oh, goodness. Here we go. But no, it's really, sometimes you get your best talks in because you guys are relaxed and
Yes.
able to just be with each other with no distractions and,
Yep.
or very little distraction. Now you have the baby in the stroller, but
Yep.
that's the best time, people.
And
Just-
brothers,
Mm.
that's quality time.
Yep. The big
Quality time.
QT, quality time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the 4 love languages. 5 love languages.
Yes.
I said 4, huh?
Yeah, you did.
I know. Dang.
Anyway, folks, so thank you again
Yep.
for
Thank you.
joining us. Hopefully this topic, this conversation was, helpful, informative.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys have any suggestions, and again, shout out to my friend who, suggested this topic because I would have never thought of it. So, but this was a really good topic. I enjoyed it. And if you guys have any suggestions on any topics,
Mm-hmm.
please just, you can go ahead and leave a comment and let us know what you would like for us to, talk about.
Yeah, we'll give you a shout out too if you come up with a good topic for us.
Exactly.
Even though we didn't say her name, we just said a shout out to
Victoria.
Hey, there you go. There you go, Victoria. We
There
gave
you
that
go.
shout.
Thank you, Victoria. So please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are always trying to build our channel.
Yep. That's
So
right.
thank you guys again and have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.